guys, today we're taking a look at the Sigma 19mm f2.8 DN E-mount lens. Yes, I have this lens attached to my Sony a7 Mark II. This is an APS-C sensor lens, and Sigma actually has produced two versions of this lens. I have the older version, which has a more traditional styling on the exterior with a ridged focus ring. The newer art version is exactly the same optically, but it has a smooth metal focus barrel. So it's just a matter of preference. Frankly, you can get the older version a little bit cheaper, and optically they're identical. So I chose to get the older one. I personally kind of like the traditional styling of the focus ring with the ridges on the exterior. I also like the art style series. I appreciate the metal that's used in the construction of the art series. So I think whichever way you go, you can't really make a mistake. Now this lens exhibits the curious behavior of the other Sigma primes in the series. With the camera turned off, the lens will exhibit a bit of a rattle if you move it around. And so a lot of people, when they open up their new Sigma lens, are alarmed that their brand new lens is rattling with a little bit of a clunk. But it has something to do with the focus mechanism inside. And when you turn on the camera, that rattle goes away. I really like the size and weight of this lens. It's extremely small and compact. It's not quite a pancake, but it's super lightweight. And it's a good walkabout focal length. On an APS-C sensor camera, you'll have a 1.5 crop factor, so this actually produces a 28.5 millimeter equivalent field of view, which is a wide angle, not quite normal, but you can really bring in everything. It makes it a great travel lens. It's excellent for landscape, architecture. Now the first question we ask of any lens, is it sharp? Yes. I'm happy to report that this is a sharp lens. It's reasonably sharp wide open, but it gets significantly sharper towards the corners as you stop it down. And I believe you'll find maximum sharpness at around f8. But I don't really hesitate to shoot mine wide open, especially if we're indoors in social environments. Now, because this is a wider angle lens, there will be some distortion around the edges of the frame. So if you're photographing people, you want to keep them towards the center of the frame. This is a really inexpensive lens. Sigma's done something rather remarkable with this DN series, and including the art models. Don't be fooled by the low price point. There's some quality glass inside. It has a 7-bladed aperture. I don't know if anyone buys a wide-angle lens like this with bokeh in mind, but the bokeh is actually quite pleasing. And at f2.8, it's reasonably fast. The Sigma lens, like the other Sigma primes in this DN series, performs surprisingly well on a full-frame camera. Again, this is a 19mm lens. On a full frame camera, you will get some vignetting in the corners, but with a little bit of cropping, you probably end up with something like a 22 or 23mm equivalent field of view. So you can get some really wide angle shots with the lens. There's no optical image stabilization in this lens. So paired with an a7 Mark II, which has in-body image stabilization, you can just dial in the stabilization for 19mm. But if you're shooting with an APS-C sensor camera like the Alpha 6000 or the 6300, you're not gonna have any image stabilization. You don't really need it so much on a lens that's this wide. Just watch your shutter speeds and you should be fine. Overall, the image quality that this lens produces is very good. Something else I appreciate about this lens is the short minimum focusing distance. The minimum focusing distance is a mere 7.9 inches, which is really good. I like that in a walkabout lens. You can take it with you anywhere and have some sense of confidence that you're going to get the shot. If you're taking a shot of food, for example, or let's say a little statue, you can get up close to see the fine detail. Thank you, Sigma. So I like the minimum focusing distance of this lens. Due to the wide angle, this lens makes for a pretty effective video lens as well. If you like to shoot video with your cameras, again, there's no optical image stabilization, but when paired with a body that has image stabilization built in, you've got a nice little video lens that you can take with you just about anywhere. Sadly, there's no aperture ring on this lens, so your aperture settings must be made electronically. The lens focuses quite quickly and accurately. I've had no real negative issues with focus. Something to keep in mind is with these Sigma lenses, you may not get quite as many phase detect autofocus points when mounted to a Sony body like the A7 II or the Alpha 6000 or Alpha 6300. But I find that the lens focuses quite quickly anyway, and I don't think you need 150 plus phase detect autofocus points when you're focusing a wide angle lens. This is not the type of lens that you'll be using to shoot sports or action photography for the most part. The build quality is about average, I guess about what you'd expect for the price. Now Sigma includes a lens hood. Sigma also includes a really nice case with the lens. And I wish more lens manufacturers would follow suit and include a nice case with every lens that they sell. Like the other lenses in this line, these Sigma lenses were made in Japan, not in Thailand, not in China. So being made in Japan is usually a sign of quality. So yes, the lens is sharp. It's a prime lens and it delivers that pleasing prime sharpness. If you are a pixel peeper and really want sharpness in the corners of the frame of your photos, be sure to stop the lens down a little bit. I believe its sharpest aperture is f8, but anything from f5.6 to f8, you're going to be fine. I know a lot of people complain about the high price of lenses in the Sony E-mount line, and to a certain extent, it's true. I get it. I understand some of the complaints because some of the first-party Sony lenses are quite expensive. Pretty much all of the Carl Zeiss branded lenses are going to be quite expensive. But thankfully, Sigma has come to the rescue. I think you can buy any of these Sigma prime lenses with confidence. I have the 19, the 30, and the 60. They're all sharp. They each have different characteristics and qualities that they bring to the table. I find that this 19mm is an excellent little walkabout lens. It's a great travel lens. I wouldn't hesitate to bring this f2.8 lens inside some cathedrals in Europe. If I want to capture landscapes, it's a great lens for that. And due to the minimum focusing distance, I think it's a great lens to have attached to your camera at just about any time. I would say these Sigma lenses are a no-brainer purchase. You're not spending a great deal of money and you're getting some really high quality prime glass. So don't think too much about it. If you really want the wide angle lens, pick up the Sigma 19mm f2.8. You're gonna like it. If you want one, get one. And I will include a link in the YouTube description for this video if you wanna go read other reviews of the Sigma 19mm. Don't take my word for it, read what other people have to say. Thanks as always for watching and for subscribing to our little channel here on YouTube. Until next time, LOLOHO.
If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you disliked it, give it a thumbs down. Feel free to leave a comment. And of course, don't forget to subscribe.